While talks within the US military have already come out about a potential plan to seize Iran's Kharg Island in the Persian Gulf as the next step along the escalation ladder. Kharg Island is a small island that's only about a third the size of Manhattan, that's about 25 kilometers off of the southern Iranian coast, that many gamers are already going to be very familiar with because it was used as a map for online play in Battlefield 3. But in real life, it's also the single most important economic asset that Iran controls, because the oil terminal on the island accounts for a whopping 90% of Iran's total crude oil exports that overwhelmingly go towards China. Because the waters around Kharg Island are actually deep enough to handle modern super-large tanker ships compared with the shallower waters around the Iranian mainland that simply can't. An operation to seize the island would place massive, potentially even crippling economic leverage over Iran if it was successful, because it would enable an almost complete shutdown of all of Iran's oil exports that fund as much as 60% of the government's operating budget. The idea in Washington might be that if the bombing campaign alone can't overthrow the Islamic Republic or prevent it from blocking the Strait of Hormuz, seizing Kharg Island and eliminating the majority of the government's funding might instead, but without having to commit all the way to a massive ground invasion of Iran. Seizing and controlling Kharg Island would inevitably require American boots on the ground, but it might only require a few thousand Marines to take and hold it, as opposed to the hundreds of thousands that would be required to actually invade and occupy the whole country. The problem, of course, is that seizing Kharg Island is still a very geopolitically and militarily risky move, with ultimately uncertain outcomes. The US is struggling to get its warships through the Strait of Hormuz right now because of Iranian missile and drone strikes, which means that an operation to seize Kharg Island would likely have to largely be an airborne and limited amphibious operation launched from staging grounds at US military bases from Kuwait. And even though the US has been able to maintain complete aerial supremacy in this war, Kharg Island is still close enough to the Iranian coast to be well within range of kamikaze drones that can make landing there, holding it, and resupplying it all extremely costly.